First Watch with Sheriff Mark Daniels on KWCD Bisbee Sierra Vista. Hosted by Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
And welcome to your Friday. I'm Grady Butler. With me is Carol Kappas and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
You wanted to start with soccer today. You're like itching to talk about this soccer game.
It's FIFA time. It's FIFA. I mean, look at soccer's like the hit here.
Yes.
And I have so many people come and say they don't like soccer. You've heard it too. I don't get that sport because you've never played that sport. I never grew up with soccer, but I'll tell you, it's cool. It's bringing a globally people together. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at it right, I mean, even here in the United States, people come from all over the world, seeing the United States, and they're loving it. They're truly loving it. But we did something small here. As you all know, we talked about last week, the Youth Law Enforcement Academy between the Service Police Department and Cochise County Sheriff's Office. And we brought the County Attorney's Office. Lori Zuko was out there with us teaching. But we did a finale yesterday with the kids, and that was a soccer game. The first event played on ALA's new artificial turf. ALA, thank you so much for being a host. They said, hey, have your youth academy here. We'll roll out the carpet. And they really did, thanks to Leah and the team over there and Faith Deaver and all them. But we did the soccer game yesterday, and so we had a couple young officers and deputies. And I say young because they can still run. And then we split the kids up. There was like 25, 26 kids. But we had a ball. We had a lot of fun. A lot of poking going on between the city and the county. And of course, we followed all the rules, but that's probably why we lost 3-2. But that's okay. They're going to take the local FIFA Cup. It's over at the PD right now, and we'll get it back. But this you got to look at the fun here too, and also the positive. The PD gets to hold that for a year, and they need a little success in their life. So this is good for them. This is good. And I know Chief Heiser's coming over going, he's probably going to swing in here and say, I got something to say. But but we had a great time. And we left the kids. You were out there, Carol, and the kids were just excited.
They were so, wet after being sprayed down by the fire department. Thank you so much for having that. Because it was hot.
It was hot. It wasn't bad playing soccer because the clouds blew in. It was actually really nice. I was worried about that big time. But my knees are killing me today. My little body. I had a dinner event last night, and I was out there going, oh. And people were like, you're right. No, I'm fine. I just can't move. And, yeah, but it was a great time. The kids all left with smiles. Talking to the kids, we got them all a certificate at the end, and we did like a little graduation ceremony for them, and the feedback from the kids, and that we're coming back next year. That's great when you take high school youth, bring them together, and they're from Douglas High School, Tombstone, all Buena, ALA, all over. And then they all left as a team, and that was what it was all about. So thank you to everybody involved, and Sergeant Davison and Deputy Dion and everybody to put that together.
And they were, it's a way to bridge the gap, not only with our communities and our youth, but also our other agencies. Because, you had Sierra Vista out there, you had the fire department out there, and just everybody working together for the good of all of the kids.
That's 100%. And building that engagement of trust and respect between our young people.
And so you have to give a shout out to somebody this morning. I think that it's really important, is Morse Automotive.
We do. When we got notified this week, I had a meeting with them and Bob Santa Maria and his team over there, and Teddy Morse, the owner, in regards to their sponsor in our Honor Guard. So we got a donation grant, however you want to look at it, for them to buy all new Honor Guard equipment for our Honor Guard, because we're resetting that whole program. They stepped forward and said, hey, we'd like to help with that. And so thank you to the Morse Automotive Group, all the men and women that work over there, and to their leadership, Mr. Morris and Bob Santa Maria. Thank you so much for believing in us.
And we had another academy in town this week, but it was the Sheriff's Leadership Academy. What is that?
Sheriff's Leadership, brought to you by Western State Sheriff's Association. They've been in town. There's like 20 plus or minus sheriffs and chief deputies, majority of sheriffs from Kansas all the way over to California that are here, that first-time sheriffs for the most part, handful of chief deputies that are aspiring to be sheriffs. They're working toward that, and it's all about leadership. We had 3 attorneys in town, not from this town, but here in town. I found out one of the attorneys that was teaching, I've known him for a long time. That's where I get my continuing education I get every year from him and his team. He has 170 attorneys.
Wow.
In 4 different states, and I mean, I've always been very impressed, but man, and he's got an office in Phoenix. So I had a long talk with him at one of the socials, and he made a comment to me, yeah, if you guys need anything, let us know. So I hooked him up and Lori Zuko. It's nice to have those kind of friends because they're there to defend law enforcement. So my deputies or officers in jail, whoever that needs a little support, we have that. So it's really nice to see that.
And everybody has been busy. I'm telling you, this is just, we were talking about it earlier.
Oh.
Just, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on, but there's just not a minute in the day. And you
No.
know that better than anybody because you've been at everything. Grady and I have been able to split it up. Thank you, Grady, about the Sheriff's Academy for doing all the things with all of the people.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was fun,
It
though.
was a lot. It was a
It
lot.
was a great week.
And you got to like meet with them and whatnot. And so you were instrumental in not only getting them to where they needed to go, but actually making sure that they had everything that they need. So thank you so much for doing that.
My pleasure.
And I'll expand that just for a minute, Carol. You too. And both you guys have been tested this week. Our outreach team, Sergeant Davis, like I mentioned earlier, being out there. And it has been a fun-packed week. I'm talking 14-hour days for a lot of us. I know, Grady, you've been doing transports and with the sheriffs and, you know, going to work at 5:36 in the morning and then getting home at 8:39 like last night again. All week it's been like that. So it's just been one long week. But at the end of the day, after we closed out the Youth Academy, and of course ran over and went to dinner with the Sheriff's Academy group last night, the tour we did last night with them. I mean, just to see the smiles on people's faces and, you know, we're doing it right. So thank you guys for all you're doing because this has been a test for the Sheriff's Department this week.
Thank you.
And another thing was Fort Huachuca. You went up there. You were with Lori Zuko and Jackie Clay, and Sergeant Davidson was up there for a medical health safety fair.
It was, and Colonel Ramirez oversees the medical team up there on Fort Huachuca, and Terry, I think it's Jones's last name, all the people up there, and they had a very nice ceremony and very nice display of all public safety, SSVC, our sponsor for this radio show, all the different folks that were up there coming together for the good of Fort Huachuca, but the good of the community. So they asked me to say a few words at that, and I did, and it was a really nice event too. And so thank you to our partners at Fort Huachuca. I know we got some retirements coming on. Big shout out for Colonel Childs, the Garrison, who's been a great partner. He is moving into a new role, and that is he's actually going to be the new chief of staff for the general, taking Colonel Deaver's spot, who also retires on July 1st. So both ceremonies are coming up here next week. So we're going to be excited to go to them and recognize both of them.
And another ceremony coming up Tuesday is for your chief of staff.
Yes, our chief of staff, Tom Malinen. Tom has spent 51 years in the business. 51. Think about that. Half a century. And he's still very young. If he's listening this morning, he'll be like, oh, Sheriff, stop that. And but seriously, here's a man that's the second longest serving law enforcement in the state, from what we can tell. There's, like I said, detective out of Phoenix PD that's still up there. And but that's just admirable. It's honorable. And Tom's going to stay on as a senior advisor for us to help us out in some institutional knowledge and partners, some of our partner programs. But and then Colonel Deaver's coming in. But we're going to recognize Chief Alinen next week. Mm-hmm. I know the Service Police Department is going to join forces since he spent 38 years there too. And so we're excited to embrace him, thank him, honor him. And I know he's very humbled. I don't know, we ain't got to do that. He is. But he deserved it. Well deserved that. So, Tom, thank you for listening this morning, or everybody's listening. See Tom Lee and give him a hug and say thank you for his service.
He loves the hugs.
Oh, he does. Yeah. He loves the hugs.
We also have to say Crystal Wheeler from Cochise College. Tuesday is going to be her last day as well. And she's just amazing. All that group over there is. But she's just somebody who's going to be really tough to fill. She has little baby feet, but they're going to be big shoes to fill.
That's good. That was good with it. She's probably going, Carol. And no, Crystal's been our go-to. I mean, she's been the steadfast over there. And I saw her over the college. A big shout out to the college for our Sheriff Leadership Academy. They've been our hosts setting that up and stuff. But, yeah, I saw Crystal over there, and her last day is next week. And she's been the face of Cochise College so many years, and she's moving. Her and Brian, her husband, the kids are all moving east, and so we're going to miss her. And Crystal, thank you so much for being a friend to the Cochise County Sheriff's Office and all those in this community. So,
And exciting news, we have a little bit of an update for our animal shelter.
Yeah, so it's in a counter process mode right now, which means they have countered they had an offer, we countered, now they countered back, and we're getting very close. I think we're getting very close. It's supposed to go back to the board to look at that or accept it or recounter it. I don't know what the whole process on that is, but I know it's getting close. In fact, I got a text from a citizen this morning on that, but we're moving in the right direction on our animal shelter, and I think once the building's approved, we'll start laying the groundwork to have the first Cochise County animal shelter
that we own and run.
Yes, and it's going to be so nice, and I know our team's excited about it, our animal control officers, and we got some work ahead of us, no doubt. It's a new endeavor we've never done, and but I know the sheriff's office and working with the board of supervisors and our partners will make this happen.
And working together with some of our partners, we had a meeting yesterday with Border Patrol.
We did, and Border Patrol, so PAC, which is the patrol agents in charge, are the ones that run the station. So you have Sonoyta, Wilcox, Douglas, Naco. Who am I missing? Am I missing anybody? I think I got them all.
Sonoyta was...
Sonoyta. Yeah, I think we got them all. So they all work within Cochise County. So they were all there, the PACs and their senior leadership team, and our leadership team, and we had a very, very good operational meeting. Sharing expectations, sharing responsibility. Lori Zuko was at that one again, our county attorney, just to make sure that we're all on the same sheet of music, that if we need each other, we're working together, that we're there, we understand each other, but also we have the ability to connect with each other. That's important. So again, very good meeting. We squeeze that in because that's very much an important factor. The border is very manageable right now. I'll just say that, but there's been some upticks. We've seen that with several chases here in the last couple of weeks, and be careful out there when you're driving around. And we are seeing a few more. I mean, cartels do their own thing. They have no disciplines. But we're going after each one of them, so I'm pretty happy with that. But we got to work together.
And also, you wanted to give a shout out to SWAT as well.
Yeah, SWAT. Well, I tell you, that regional SWAT team that is now in place, they do great. Last weekend, they were out there with a guy that ended up shooting the toe, I believe it was, off another individual, and then he barricaded and very resistant, and took into the morning hours to get him out, but nobody else was hurt. We got him in custody between the Service Police Department, Sheriff's Office, regional SWAT team, and others involved in that. But again, when you work together, it's amazing what you can do.
And working together and behind the scenes, is really, really important. People don't see, they see the big sexy of all the lights and sirens and stuff like that on any major event. But there's somebody who is also instrumental. Well, there's many people, but in particular, if we have a huge event, is RACES. And that's the Amateur Radio Association. They're having their field day tomorrow at Veterans Memorial Park. It's going to start at 11 and go to 1. And most people may or may not understand what they do, but they are an integral part of communications and keeping people safe, regardless of the law enforcement discipline, whether it's, police, fire, EMS, and there's a huge event. That's what they do, and they train consistently for that, and it's really important. So that's what the field day is tomorrow.
It is, and it's a nationwide emergency communication drill, which is a national thing tomorrow, and it's actually the Cochise Amateur Radio Association, like you said, Carol, and they're having their event tomorrow at Veterans Park, Ramada 2, starting at 11 o'clock and beyond. So stop by, see what they do. They're all volunteers. They're volunteers that put this effort forward. You'll see them at all the big events. They come out, they set up their radio communication. That there is something happen, like the Coach Racers July 4th. They do the El Toro bike race that we just jumped into, you name it, or any national disaster. They're going to hear in Cochise County or critical event, they're going to be out there. They do an amazing job. I want to give them a big shout out. And again, I'll be stopping by there tomorrow to thank them. That's what I just go out there and thank you guys for what you do.
And do you have a stop of the week before you go?
I do. And I've been, like I said, coming in really early trying to get some work done before I went to these events all week, and went in one morning about 5:45, and those that know me, I stop at a convenience store, get my Diet Coke and my athletic cookie, even though I'm a retired athlete, my Larry Laney cookie. But on the way there, I had a car go through a stop sign and almost hit me. So ultimately, I ended up stopping the car for driving and observation. And when I turned the lights on, the car chose not to stop. And think about it, 6 in the morning. It's like, so hit the siren, car kept going. So here I am at 6 in the morning going through a neighborhood. chasing a car. And so finally got the car stopped. And sad to say, it was a female that was impaired. I mean, it's like, man. And her alcohol was almost 3 times the legal limit. 3 times the legal limit. And she made a comment to me. She goes, please don't take me to jail. Please don't take me. Don't arrest me. Don't do this. You know, comments of that nature. And then she made a comment. She goes, just let me go home and sleep it off. Too late. It's truly too late at that point. Folks, make good decisions on that. And we all have challenges in our lives. We have personal, and she was talking about some of that. I'm not going to get into detail on that, but long story short is, at the end of the day, alcohol is not the answer, folks. I'll just tell you. So please, if you need help, please reach out on that. And number 2 is, do not drink and drive, please.
All right, for a safety message, we actually have a little bit of weather going on right now.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? I want to be a weatherman. You don't have to be right. You don't have to be right.
No.
I mean, what
It's
a
true.
job to have. And you ever, when's that time you saw somebody criticize or see somebody, big controversy on the weatherman because he didn't do it right? No, you never do. Great job. Some of you young people listening this morning go, I want to be a weatherman. But yeah, there was supposed to be no rain this week, and then look what happened last 2 days. Man, we've been getting hit hard, and it's so refreshing. This is the monsoons. Hot during the day. In fact, I got a little sunburn playing soccer yesterday. My head was like, oh, that hurts. I got sunburn. But then by 1, 2, it starts rolling in. 3, 4, it's pouring. That's what it's all about. So keep on coming, rain. It's great, but be safe out there, especially driving in this rain, because people get a little unsettled when it comes to rain.
They do. And last night it hit Benson. So they had the underpass closed, and then they had 4th Street, a lot of 4th Street in Benson closed. So just don't try to make it through those areas at all.
No, it's not worth it. It's truly, one thing about Arizona, it comes quick, but it leaves quick.
Mm-hmm.
And those washes go up quick, but they go down quick. So please, just be patient. Go get a Diet Coke, you know? Do the sheriff thing. Go get a Diet Coke.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week, and be safe this weekend.
And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Adam Curtis, City of Sierra Vista Communications Manager.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
Giving you an inside look to your sheriff's office. Let's go back to First Watch on KWCD.
Brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. I'm Grady Butler. With me is Carol Kappas and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County, and thank you so much, Adam Curtis, for being here today.
Of course, it's great to be here.
So why are you here?
So first off, I'm the City of Sierra Vista Communications Manager, and the city always partners with the Sierra Vista Rotary Club to put on some awesome 4th of July festivities. Fort Huachuca is another partner in that, and obviously the business community contributes a huge amount to the Rotary Club for the fireworks show, and that's really the big spectacle and the biggest part of the festivities. And in light of America's 250th, I can't remember the fancy name for it. Do you guys remember? Like,
I'm just going with 250th.
Semi-anti-quintessential.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
look
something
at
like
you.
that. I know.
Okay.
I haven't gotten it down yet either.
Yeah.
I need to look it up. It's a fun word.
I'm impressed, Carol.
Yeah.
Don't be.
But in light of that, the Rotary Club says it's going to be the biggest, best fireworks display ever.
Nice.
And last year's was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, they always seem to get better. So definitely check out the fireworks display. That's going to be on 4th of July, Saturday night, starting around 8:05, lasting to about 9. You can always see that, the front row seat is in the sports fields east of the city complexes on Tacoma, so around Domingo Paez area. But you can see it from Veterans Memorial Park, too, and that's where a lot of the festivities are throughout the day. So I'll take that as my cue to back up and go back to the 3rd of July, which is Friday. The Sierra Vista Rotary Club also sponsors a street dance, basically, in Centennial Pavilion in Veterans Memorial Park. So there'll be food vendors, beer garden, and dancing from 5 to 11 p.m. The live music is from 5 to 10 p.m. So definitely head to Veterans Memorial Park on the 3rd of July, starting at 5 p.m. And then going towards the 4th, it's kind of all the usual things we do every year. So that kicks off with the 4th of July Pets and People Promenade. That's brought to you by New Frontier Animal Medical Center. And today is actually the final day to register for that. So if you want to register for that, give New Frontier a call at 520-459-0433 or just go to their website. And if you don't know what that is, pets of all shapes and sizes come out with their owners, and people dress up. You know, it's good to get in the spirit. There are different awards for different things, and you kind of do like a little parade around one of the Ramadas in the park. It's one of the cutest events. I used to cover it at the Herald years ago, and you never know what kind of pets are going to show up. Obviously, there's dogs, but occasionally you get a snake or a parrot or some kind of farm animal.
Llama.
I know. I've seen some random ones show up every now and then. But yeah, definitely if your pets are social and up for that and you want to come out, it's a super fun way to start your 4th of July morning. Check-in is 7 to 8 a.m. Then the promenade gets started at 8:05, and judging and awards follow around 8:35. So definitely a fun activity for everyone. And then pretty much all day in Veterans Memorial Park on 4th of July. There is entertainment starting from 9 a.m. And then from 9 to 11, there's just some booths, entertainment, that kind of stuff. And then at 11:30, we kick off the Salute to the Union ceremony at the Centennial Pavilion. And that lasts for about 30 minutes to an hour. And then throughout the afternoon, there's still vendors, arts and craft vendors, entertainment. There's groups that perform, that kind of stuff. So you can just kind of hang out in the park. There's food vendors and a beer garden. And that's also a great place to watch fireworks. So if you wanted, you could just kind of set your base of operations in Veterans Memorial Park and you're good to go. There are some cool groundworks that they do at the fireworks. So if you really love the ground stuff and the waterfalls and the other stuff, you might want to go to the sports fields. But aside from that, Veterans Memorial Park is also a great place to view the fireworks. So again, fireworks start at 8:05 roughly p.m. on 4th of July. And that's the Sierra Vista Rotary Club. So much thanks to them for doing this every year. It's just, we have some of the best fireworks in the state. I mean, we say that. I think it's true. And I think they still manually fire them off, which I don't even understand how that's possible. Like, it looks pretty well orchestrated and everything. And to know they're like manually doing this is amazing. So there's some incredible volunteers that make that happen as well. In addition to all the fun, I want to remind folks to be safe on 4th of July. So it'll probably be hot. We'll see if it's rainy or not. It's nice that we got some rain.
Yes.
That makes us feel way better about fireworks and that kind of stuff. But we do urge folks to watch the public display. We have fire trucks and crews staged all over the place to put out any spot fires to make this safe for the community. But in addition to that, folks seem to like to fire fireworks off at home. And that kind of puts a stress on our first responders, also for your neighbors and the pets in your neighborhood. So in Arizona, anything that goes in the air and goes boom is illegal. So you should not be firing fireworks into the air and watching them explode on your own. You are allowed on private property with permission of the property owner to use the legal fireworks in Arizona. And that's the stuff that kind of stays on the ground, like little fountains of sparks, the little snaky looking things, like all that kind of stuff. Nothing that goes boom.
If you buy it at one of the local tents or at one of the local stores, those are legal.
Yes.
That's a good way to look at it.
Absolutely. But also take a lot of care if you're doing that. Even a sparkler. Sparklers cause maybe the most injuries, I want to say, on the 4th of July, just because everyone thinks they're safe. And you give a sparkler to your kid and they're like, oh my God. They burn and they're very hot and they cause burns really quick. So if you're celebrating with kids and stuff, just monitor them, be smart, be careful, make sure you're not around flammable stuff. It all seems very obvious, but everyone's happy celebrating. It gets chaotic, just be careful. So celebrate safely, be mindful of your pets, also of your neighbors and that kind of stuff. But pets in particular, this is the day of the year where people lose pets the most. The fireworks scare both dogs and cats potentially. So make sure they're in a good, safe environment that's secure. And if they have issues, you probably are aware of them, and you might just want to stay home with them during the fireworks show. It's really up to you and your pet's comfort. But yeah, definitely, be aware that it can be a stressful night for them too. And if it's very hot, and just in general when it's hot, obviously don't leave your pet sitting in the car or your kid. It seems so obvious, but it's always an important reminder. And 4th of July is one of those days where everyone's together and you might forget something and it can just kind of get out of control. So just be mindful of that. It's a hot day. Take care of your vulnerable folks.
It's so much information. We love it when you come in. So thanks for coming and talking to us today, Adam.
Absolutely. Thank you guys.
That's Adam Curtis, Communications Manager for the City of Sierra Vista. And Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have Deputy Donahue. He is representing the Bisbee Coaster races this year.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
Giving you an inside look to your sheriff's office. Let's go back to First Watch on KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. I'm Grady Butler. With me is Carol Kappas, and our next guest from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office. Introduce yourself.
I'm Deputy Robert Donahue with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office, and I'm also here with the Bisbee Coaster Race Committee.
That's right, and that's why you're here today, because the Bisbee Coaster Races is coming up on the 4th of July, and this is a big event. How many years have we been doing this?
So this year would be the 95th running of the Bisbee Coaster Race.
Wow.
Yes,
95 years. All right, before we get to the race, let's talk about the Cochise County Sheriff's Charity Ride, because last year you were one of the beneficiaries.
Yes, we were. So we were selected by the Charity Ride to be a recipient of funds last year after the Charity Ride. We received $10,000 out of the Charity Ride. We showed up, supported the event, and we took that money. We were able to buy a modern wireless timing system from a company called Freelap, going away from the stopwatches and old times there and going up to a sensor-based accurate timing system for this year.
Excellent. Okay, so let's talk about the race itself. We already know it's the 95th annual. So tell us what happens at the Bisbee Coaster races.
So the Bisbee Coaster Race started in 1911. Actually started with kids then, and they had an adults race. So it went on for a few years. World War II came along. There were some other hiccups in the race throughout the history. There was some unfortunate accidents, deaths that happened. So the race kind of went on, and that's why it hasn't been consistent since 1911. So in about sometime in the 70s, 80s, the race came back and is basically the same format that it is today. We have two divisions, juniors and seniors, 9 to 12 and 13 to 16 that run the race. And it's been in the same place every year, Tombstone Canyon and Bisbee.
So are the cars built, or are there cars that just keep coming back?
So most of the coasters that we have been around for years. In the race today, we still have 3 coasters that actually participated in the men's race years ago, and they were modified to run in the kids' race. So every now and then a new one comes along, but for the most part, the same old coasters that have been around get taken care of and get used again.
Excellent. So this is something for the whole family to come and watch. If people that are in the race, is that like already done? They're signed up and everything? Or?
Yeah. Okay. So we start our trial runs in late May. We make 2 trial runs in Warren that are mandatory for all drivers, and then a trial run, which is tomorrow, Saturday the 27th, in Tombstone Canyon.
Okay, so now we know who's going to be racing. If we want to be a spectator, what do we do?
So the spectators, given that the entirety of Tombstone Canyon is closed from the West Boulevard underpass all the way to the convention center, you got to find a parking spot somewhere in downtown Bisbee by the convention center and work your way up the road, up Main Street in Old Bisbee, and find a good spot to watch.
So where does it start and end?
So the start is up at the underpass under Highway 80 at the West Boulevard interchange. That's where our start. And the course is 1.6 miles, and it ends right in front of the Bisbee Library.
Is there a best place to sit in your opinion? Or
in my opinion, I would say the Ironman, Castle Rock, or right there at the finish line are my 3 top spots.
Okay, well, let's talk about ways to find out more information about the Bisbee Coaster Race, because you guys are fundraising year-round and everything, but if we want to find out about the race itself or the organization, give us your contact information.
Of course. So our main contact base that we've been trying to use more and more rather than word of mouth is Facebook. We have our Bisbee Coaster Race Facebook page, and then this last year we've gained a huge following. A lot of people are starting to share things, reach out via message. So that's our best way. We've anybody that's wanting to help volunteer, help donate. We're a nonprofit, so everything goes back into the race and into the award money for the kids. So that's our best way to reach us is on Facebook.
And how can they help donating or volunteering?
By volunteering, I mean, we take volunteers for our trial runs, and our biggest one is the setup. Me being the course safety coordinator, I have a huge job on the 3rd. We got to set up right around 250 barricades along the road, over 2,000 feet in fencing, lots of stuff. So anybody that volunteers in that manner, it's super appreciated. And then as far as we take raffle prize donations too, this year we were actually able to put together a really cool raffle prize basket that we'll be selling tickets for on the 4th of July. Money, we take in the money, we use it for supplies, we use it for the awards, we use it to help pay for, other costs related to the whole race. It takes a lot to do it as far as permits and everything goes. So
well, let's talk about those raffles real quick. If you're out at watching the race, you can get the raffle tickets?
Yeah, so down at the finish line and at the starting line up under the West Boulevard interchange, any of the committee members, you'll see us in yellow vests or our committee shirts that say staff on them. We'll all have raffle tickets. We will sell them. And then at the conclusion, at the award ceremony after the race, we'll do the raffle right then and there. And you don't need to be present to win. As long as we have your contact info, we'll get a hold of you and get you that raffle basket.
Can you tell us some of the prizes?
So some of the prizes off the top of my head, I know we got a $200 certificate to Got Tint here in Sierra Vista. They were one of the donors. I believe we got another donation, if I remember correctly, for some stays at the Carrick Hotel in Bisbee. And other donations along the way, prizes. It includes a hat and a shirt from the coaster race, some other cool goodies.
Excellent. Invite everybody out to the event one more time.
So join us, everybody, the morning of the 4th of July, America's 250th birthday, 8 a.m. in Bisbee, Tombstone Canyon. You get to see about 20 kids come down in the coaster race, kick off the 4th of July right.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch, brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative. Keep up to date. Follow the Cochise County Sheriff's Office on Facebook and tune in next Friday, 7 a.m. for First Watch right here on KWCD.